If we're not taking care of the health of individuals, then they are at such a great disadvantage when it comes to even trying to take advantage of opportunities that are there in the community. There was a white waiting room and there's a black waiting room. And the white waiting room, there was carpet on the floors, nice cushy chairs, and it was just beautiful. Walls were painted. And as soon as you walk in, everything is screaming, we don't care about you, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
If we're not taking care of the health of individuals, then they are at such a great disadvantage when it comes to even trying to take advantage of opportunities that are there in the community. So I really got this beautiful understanding of just seeing how everything works together. And that's how I got to bioethics, right? Because, here I am. I was always, even through my graduate program, I was looking at community economic development, the importance of that, right? And the role of the church in that. So I was really sold on that. And I still think it's super important. I'm still very much someone who advocates for that. But we have to, at the same time, attend to the health disparities that exist in our communities and in minoritized communities broadly in this nation.
So you brought up something interesting at the top. And, my audience knows I'm a historian, right? Degree in history from
Yeah.
the University of Maryland. Go Terps. But, but as I've gotten older, I'm learning, even with my history knowledge, my American history knowledge, and even the knowledge that I know about the civil rights, you just informed me that hospitals were segregated. Now, I figured that we Black people were always getting poor care. I didn't know that the hospitals were actually segregated, which I guess would make sense. If you segregating restaurants, bathrooms, water fountains, why would you not segregate hospitals? So when did hospitals during the civil rights movement become desegregated?
Right. So thankfully, hospitals became desegregated close to like 1964, right?
Okay.
There was a very important court case, a Supreme Court case, Simpkins versus Moses H. Cone Memorial Hospital. It was really instrumental in the desegregation of hospitals. And it was some doctors, some Black doctors here actually in the state of North Carolina. But yeah, Dr. George Simpkins, his patient was denied admission actually into a hospital. And so he filed a lawsuit because, the hospital was receiving state and federal funds via the Hill-Burton Act in 1946, right? But anyway, the point is that this just denying people care because of the color of their skin it was prevalent. I mean, I remember when my father grew up during segregation, and he said, when my mom would take me to the hospital, he said there was a white waiting room and there's a black waiting room. And the white waiting room, there was carpet on the floors, nice cushy chairs, and it was just beautiful. Walls were painted. He said, in the black waiting room was kind of like back in the back, where you had to go around. The floor it was unfinished. It was like dirt and concrete, right? Lawn chairs thrown in there, no paint on the walls. He said, and so it was very interesting because, here you are in a place to get care. And as soon as you walk in, everything is screaming, we don't care about you, right?
Screaming
Yeah.
prison. What you're describing
Yeah.
sounds like prison. Yeah.
Yes. And even and so it's interesting. I even wrote in the book about how in one place in particular, there was not a hospital that even served African Americans. And so they actually put them, they would put them into prison if they were sick, right? Because that was a place that they had available. So it's just, it's just wild when you look at the history of the medicine it is really insane to see what Black folks have suffered, what minoritized individuals have suffered. And so, yeah, so because, at first when there were no Black hospitals, and then, Blacks weren't being really served within, mainstream hospitals, that meant that Black folk who were trying to be doctors didn't have a place for their training. Right. And so that meant then, so we needed Black hospitals.
Join the conversation and follow the Unsolicited Perspectives podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your audio podcasts.